Hey, thank you so much for joining me today for today's process video. And these photos are from our trip to New York City back in December last year, and it's of Saks at Fifth Avenue looking down from the Rockefeller Center. They always have an amazing display on both on the building as well as in the display windows at the front, so I wanted to capture this. I'm trying to focus in a bit more on our New York album because I have been neglecting it somewhat, so trying to work through that. So I've grabbed Pink Paislee Joyful Notes because the colours go really nicely with these pictures, and I'm just adding some stenciling to the background to start with. So I've grabbed my Spun Sugar Distress Oxide and this lovely stencil from Tim Holtz by Stampers Anonymous, and I'm just pushing the ink through that. It's a circular stamp, and you can see the display by Christian Dior is circular, so I wanted to emulate that on the page and get some more circular elements in. So I've tried to go bigger than I normally would with the stenciling because I know I cover a lot up, and I always under expect, if you like, what I'm going to do. So you can see I'm just moving the stencil around, trying to more or less match up the circular elements so that I can cover a bigger area. And I'm going to have a little area of elements down in the bottom right hand corner. So I'm creating a shelf here at the top. I've got the two photos. One is a 4x6 and the other one is approximately 4x4. I just trimmed it down so that I just had that circular element. And then that bottom piece that I've just tucked under there is cut from the dies, the new dies, the Viewmaster reels from Hey Little Magpie. And then I'm just building up a shelf underneath the photos. So I've got that bumpy border that I've cut with another Hey Little Magpie die. It doesn't end up staying there, I do move it. But I wanted to get these navy blues in because all these colours are the colours in the photos. There are these beautiful floral pieces on there, and then the blues of the zodiac signs. So just having a play around, trying to work out what I want to do. You can see I changed that Viewmaster reel piece to a burgundy piece because I felt I already had a lot of navy in with that strip under the photos. So just going to glue these down now, and the left-hand photo was printed with a white border. The right-hand photo I just added a border using some white scraps of card. So just going to use my glass map now to try and get this yellow piece straight. So you can see on the left-hand side I'm trying to line it up to the grid so that the actual piece on the paper is straight as well. So I'm switching that floral out. I preferred this plain floral for the top, and I shall add that other piece to the bottom. Just tucking that Viewmaster under again, and I'm thinking about having that yellow flower somewhere floating underneath. So just getting that glued down now that I know that I'm happy with it. And I love Joyful Notes for all the foil accents that you get on the ephemera pieces. So it really mimics the lavish display that's there at Saks. So just getting these pieces glued down. And I will curl up the edges just so that the white isn't quite as prevalent there and for the torn edge. And then that flag that I've just tucked under on top of that floral, I'm actually going to add Saks on Fifth there just to say where it was. So it's a great way of adding your title without it being too big. So here you can see, even though I thought I'd added loads of stenciling, I've managed to cover it all up. So I'm just coming in with a tiny bit more underneath that shelf. I don't want too much, but I do want it just peeking out because it's peeking out quite clearly at the top. So now, as you can see, I'm ready to add my title. So I've just pulled out these tiny alphabet stickers from You Are My Sunshine from Pretty Little Studio. These have just arrived in store and they're absolutely fabulous for doing things like this. There's a plethora of colours available in them, and I know that I'll end up getting one of each. They're just so handy to have. So now I'm going to work on that bottom right hand cluster. So again, another nice big floral, one of the Viewmaster reels just for continuity and to add that circular element. And then I've got a little journaling piece and then that banner that says hello. So just messing around with that. I know I want to add a tag behind as a grounding piece. So just grabbed that piece of 6x8 paper that was a leftover scrap from something else, and I'm just going to create the tag with that. And that's the same paper that I used for that Viewmaster reel that's on the top strip. So again, it's providing continuity throughout the page. So that bumpy border that I'd cut out isn't going to waste. You can see I'm just going to add that to the bottom. That was just cut from the 6x8 paper as well. These dies work perfectly with 6x8 papers. So just going to have that as another line right across the bottom of the page. And that's mirroring that shelf that I've got on the top with the photos. So just tucking everything in now and getting it adhered down. And I am going to pop some foam on the Hello banner just to make it stand up a bit, because there are lots of layers here. I want things to stand out rather than all being flat. And it adds a nice bit of dimension to the page as well. So just getting that view master reel stuck down. And here are my foam pads. So it's the Sticks to 6x12mm foam pads that I use. They're really handy because they're narrower than the 25mm square ones. And they work really nicely on a lot of elements on a page. So just getting that adhered. Still messing with this yellow flower. Still not quite sure where to put it. And then coming in with the foam stickers. I just wanted to add a few more floral elements. And I really like the dimension that these provide on the page. So a couple at the bottom, and then I find some more to add to the top here. So this lovely yellow piece, just overlapping that leaf there, and then this little blue one just goes at the top. And then I spot the hearts, so I'm going to add two, one pink one and one gold one to that bottom cluster. So it's really coming together nicely now. I've still got to add some twine to that tag, of course, and I will want to add some blingy bits just because it is quite a glitzy photo. So I think that that's where the yellow flower is going to go. I'm more or less certain, but I still don't glue it down. Just find another floral to add to the bottom there. And then this is where, if you see me doing this halfway through a video, it's normally because I just need some thinking time. So I just curl up the edges while I have a think about what to do. So I'm going to add some journaling to the bottom, and it just says, looking at sacks from Rockefeller, stunning. And then a tag at the top, which is going to hold my date. If you watch my videos, you'll know this is something that I do quite a lot. Just makes it easy for me to see where to put the date. And then I'm coming in with some of the new stamps from Hey Little Magpie. These are the direction stamps, and it's got some lovely plus signs on it. So I'm just going to add a couple of stamps of that in the lilac. I can never remember what this one's called. Shaded lilac from Tim Holtz Distress Oxides. And then I'm going to come in with speckled egg and add some of the circular elements, just overlapping that. And these circles are really nice because they're a very thin line and they just add a tiny bit of texture to the background. So it's just adding that in 3 places, or four places, isn't it? And then I'm going to come in with the grids stamp. This is a brand new one. Love this stamp. And again, it's a circular element. So definitely should have done this before sticking everything down, but it's easy enough just to layer over the top. Again, it's very, very subtle. I've chosen a really pale ink just to blend into the background, really. And I'm just going to add that in a couple of places just to add texture to that background. So you can see I pulled off those foam stickers. It's easy enough to just pop those back on afterwards. I was worried that the dimension would get in the way when I was trying to stamp. So some glue onto that flower, so finally it's down. And then some twine into that tag hole, and I'm just going to let it trail down over that bottom cluster. So I'll just add a couple of dots of glue to hold it in place, excuse me, where the threads cross. My voice is very gravelly today. I think it's the pollen. We're having some warmer weather at the moment, but the pollen does seem to be playing up a little bit. So you can see I've just weighted that wax twine down with my stamp block and the lid of the glue just to hold it in place while the glue takes hold. So in the meantime, I'm going to add my roller date stamp to a scrap of white card and then stick that onto that tag at the top there. A little bit more journaling, just saying always such amazing displays at Saks. I just wanted to put a little bit more journaling up there. And then I just go into my stash to see what else I can add. And I find a couple of these embroidered flowers and this gorgeous lilac puffy heart. So these are from the Bits and Pieces collection from Hey Little Magpie. So just adding that puffy heart to the bottom there, and then I'll glue that blue flower down at the top, and then I do find another orange one to add to the bottom as well. So there's the blue one, and then here's that orange one. And they're just adding a little bit of a different texture on the page. They're embroidered and they look really cute. in amongst the other florals. So now some bling, like I said, I just went into my stash and found some crystals, and I'm just adding, I think I added 4 just around the clusters there, and finally some watercolour gold. This is a paler gold than the one I normally use. I just thought it matched really nicely with the pictures. And that's the layout complete. I really hope I've provided some inspiration and that you've enjoyed this process. I shall see you again very soon. Bye.